the start of the 2019 TCS Amsterdam Marathon in the Olympic Stadium. The elite races getting underway, and the 17,000 participants heading out from the track out onto the city's streets. Really good conditions here in Amsterdam, and the elite fields being led out by the pacemakers, heading out towards Vondelpark. The masses also enjoying the atmosphere in the stadium as they head out on their marathon journey. Well, the early part of the race saw a big group of elite men at the front of the race as they head out through Vondelpark and towards the Rijksmuseum. In the women's race, Mimi Belata, the 31-year-old Ethiopian-born Bahrainian athlete, taking the lead. And here they are at Rijksmuseum this year, celebrating the 350th anniversary of Rembrandt's death. And the athletes heading under the famous museum and heading down south into the business district, just short of 5 kilometers as they come out of the museum, being led by the 3 pacemakers. In the women's race, Mimi Belata running alongside the debutant Degitu Asmiru and Shashu Insemu. Well, the men's race went out at a very fast pace, the first 10 kilometers being covered in just under 29.5 minutes, which was faster than the course record schedule set by Chirono here last year. It's a very big group of around 20 athletes as the runners made their way down to the banks of the River Amstel, which they joined at about 14 kilometers. The pace had slowed slightly and got back onto the schedule set by the organisers, aiming for around 2 hours and 4 minutes. Great view from the river as the runners pass through 15 kilometers. Abdi Nagea, the favoured Dutch athlete, right at the back of that leading men's group. Through 15 kilometers in just under 45 minutes. So the 5 kilometers had slowed a little bit from the very fast opening 10 kilometers. Here's the women's race, number 5, Guteni Shona, in that big group of elite women. And the men being led by the pacemakers down to the turnaround point at Oudekerk, with just over half the distance ahead of them. Back in the women's race, it was Shashu Insemu, who had finished second here in Amsterdam last year, who was leading the women. Meanwhile, the men going through halfway in around 63 minutes. And Abdi Nagea aiming for a Dutch record here in Amsterdam, just starting to struggle to stay with that leading group. The women's race, still about 8 or 9 women in that big group of women led by some male pacemakers. Meanwhile, in the men's race, it was the experienced pacing from Edwin Kiptu in the white vest that was leading the men's group as some of the athletes started to drop off. The women go through halfway in 70 minutes and 1 second, so they are ahead of course record schedule. Remember, the course record here in Amsterdam, 2:21.09, set 7 years ago. So the women on target for a course record. Meanwhile, in the men's race, Edwin Kiptu trying to get the men back on course record schedule with a very fast 10 kilometers, between 20 and 30 kilometers. And that leading group of men down to 10 athletes as Kiptu steps aside and waves the leaders through with 5 Kenyans and 4 Ethiopians in that leading group. Some of the spectators getting excited as they try to keep up with that leading group being led now by the Kenyan Elias Rotich. In the women's race, they passed through 30 kilometres, still on course record schedule. There's Wokinesh Girma trying to stay in contact with that leading group of 5 or 6 women, now being led by Asmera Gebru, who had finished 3rd here last year and was looking to go even better in her second outing in Amsterdam. Meanwhile, in the men's race, as they approach their bridge at the Amstel Hotel, it's a group of 8 athletes as they come down. The young Ethiopian Tadu Abata starting to struggle as the pace really picks up past the Rijksmuseum, and that's because Rotich, the Kenyan, wants to try and make his break, but he's being pursued by Solomon Dixisa. Remember, Dixisa 3rd here last year and going for his first win in Amsterdam, having recorded 2 big wins last year in his marathon career. So a really tight battle between Dixisa on the right, Elias Rotich, and the tall, white-vested Kenyan, Vincent Kipchumba. In the women's race, it came down to Degetu Asmiru here making a decisive move ahead of compatriot Tigis Girma as the runners run through Vondel Park. So with a kilometre to go, Vincent Kipchumba has moved into the lead. Dixisa refusing to be defeated, but as they come in sight of the stadium, Kipchumba gets that decisive gap of 10-12 metres as they come back into the stadium, with Dixisa in 2nd place. And Kipchumba leads the race as they come back onto the track in the final 200 metres. Vincent Kipchumba, who had a great victory in Vienna in April, now running faster than he's ever done before. The tall Kenyan, coached by the Italian Claudio Berardelli, coming home here in Amsterdam to record his 2nd big city victory of 2019 and his first in Amsterdam in a time of 2 hours, 5 minutes and 9 seconds. What a win for Vincent Kipchumba, Dixisa of Ethiopia in 2nd, and Elisha Rotich, the Kenyan, in 3rd. In the women's race, the surprise was the new marathon runner, Degetu Asmeru from Ethiopia, moving up from the half marathon, the fastest half marathon runner in the field at the start of today's race. Well, she came to Amsterdam to run her first marathon, and not only was she going to record her first big city marathon win here in Amsterdam, but in a sensational time. Remember the course record from 2012, 2 hours 21:09. Asmeru breasting the tape in 2:19:25, taking almost 2 minutes off the existing course record. A great win and a great debut for the young Ethiopian. Degetu Asmera, the winner, and there the top 3 finishers in men's and women's elite races here in Amsterdam. A 1-2-3 in the women's race for Ethiopia, and Vincent Kipchumba of Kenya, the men's champion.